Hey everyone, and welcome back to Buddha and the Coach. I'm Dan Mickle, and as always, thank you for spending a little bit of time with me today. And I hope your week is going well and that you are finding some balance between your coaching, your life, and maybe just a little bit of quiet time as well. Today's teaching really made me pause and think about the unseen side of what we do as coaches. And the teaching from the Buddha goes like this: an insincere and evil friend is more feared than a wild beast. A wild beast may wound your body, but an evil friend will wound your mind. And that's a pretty heavy one, isn't it? I mean, at first glance, it sounds a little dramatic, but then the more you sit with it, the more it starts to ring true, doesn't it? And when I first heard this teaching, my brain instantly went to the relationships that we have around us and that we all have: our friends, our colleagues, teammates, or even our coaching peers. And the idea here is it's not about physical safety, it's about mental well being. And the people we surround ourselves with have this deep impact on our thoughts, emotions, and even our confidence levels. And I've always believed that the mind is a lot harder to heal than the body. When you break a bone, you get a treatment, and you follow that plan, and it usually heals pretty well. But when someone chips away at your trust and your belief in yourself and fills your head with all this negativity and manipulation, that damage can linger for a really long time. And sometimes we just don't even realize that it's happening to us until much later or until it's too late. So, how do we bring this into the coaching world? And I really want you to think about your team environment, the athletes, the staff, even the families that surround your program. Have you ever had one of those people around you who is just constantly stirring the pot, undermining others, and creating this undercurrent of tension? And it may not have been outright bullying or an obvious conflict, but it was just that subtle erosion of trust and positivity. And I've seen it in both coaching staffs and the teams themselves. And if we're being honest, sometimes it happens in coaching circles, in those sideline conversations or at coaching clinics that we have. We have this a little gossip here, a little judgment there, and it could just absolutely poison the culture if we're not careful. And we often put so much emphasis on physical safety and performance that we forget to just stop and ask ourselves, are the people around us good for our mental space? Are they helping our athletes grow, or are they just quietly causing harm? And I'll tell you from experience, one toxic person can derail an entire team's progress. And it creates fear, mistrust, and it can just lead to athletes shutting down emotionally or even leaving the sport altogether. And really, as coaches, it's our responsibility to model the sincerity and the integrity and to foster that environment where trust and respect are our non-negotiables. And yes, sometimes that means that we have to have those really difficult conversations or making the really hard decisions about who's allowed into that circle. And, I remember one season I had a player who was just incredibly talented. But slowly I started to see the rest of the team pull away from them. And the energy in the gym just changed. Players were second guessing themselves, hesitant to speak up. And it really took me a while to realize that this player was just undermining their teammates with constant little comments, backhanded compliments, and just controlling behaviors on the court. On the surface, they were all smiles with me. But the damage they were doing to their teammates' confidence was real. And once I finally addressed it and made some changes in the environment, the team atmosphere shifted dramatically. It was a really hard situation for me, and it really did teach me a valuable lesson that protecting the mental space of my team and around my team is just as important as protecting their physical bodies. So here's something for you to ponder this week. Are you paying attention to the mental wounds that might be happening on your team? And are you surrounding yourself and your team as a coach with people who build you up and build your team up, or are they slowly tearing you down? Take a little time this week and reflect on that. Sometimes, we don't notice these subtle dynamics until we're intentionally looking at them. So I want you to stop and really focus on this aspect of your program. And if this is sparked, any thoughts or stories for you, I would love to hear them. Drop them in the comments below. Share this with a fellow coach. And of course, I would love for you to subscribe so that you don't miss any future episodes of this or any of the other content that I'm creating. And if you want to dig a little bit deeper into topics like this, check out the Mental Cast. It's my podcast, and you can find it at mentalcast.com. All right, my friends, please take care of yourself and your teams this week, and I will see you next time.